coming on to cold calling then, it's obviously something you've done a lot. You've essentially built your career and business on cold calling. Without cold calling, your business doesn't exist. So what are your thoughts? And I guess what do you tell your team on maybe the best practice or things that people should adhere to and do when they are making the volume of cold calls you'll be making a day?
The key thing is learn from what you're doing. When someone starts either a new campaign with a new client or is a new starter to my business, they always get provided a script and training on what to say and what to cover. But the people that do best in sales in general, and especially here, are the people that experiment with that. It's what works for me might not work for you. For example, Kyle, it might not work for my new starter. It might not work for anyone else. So it's all about taking what you've learned and taking what you do understand from the training, finding what fits with you and changing. Try different intros, try different pitches, try different tones. And A and B, or A and B and C and D and E test everything until you find out what works for you. Because again, like we've said, sales is all about being a human and being personal and so on. And so it's all about testing different things until you find a fit. And there isn't 100% a fit for everyone. You will get rejection even after years of doing it. I still get rejection. I don't close everyone I speak to, but it's all about learning from that. Okay, I didn't close this person or I didn't book this meeting. Why? Find out why and change. Try something different and be adaptive because the world is changing every second, as we all know. And sales is changing just as fast.
And you mentioned, to touch on what you said there with, change, adapt, be different. I might be putting you on the spot a little bit here, Keir, but we mentioned earlier the funeral makers or coffin makers and also the farmers in the US and Australia. If I was to say now you've got two cold calls to make, let's say they would both answer as well for argument's sake. The first one is a coffin maker, the second one is a farmer. How would you approach those two calls and what would be the kind of differences between the two?
So the coffin maker I'll start with, that one, you are calling a more professional business. Yes, a funeral maker is still not a massive corporation. Traditionally, a lot of the smaller ones aren't. But you've got to be, in my opinion, more professional than you would with a farmer. A lot of our approaches are around helping people, even introverts, people that maybe don't think they do. Everyone has a bit of an ego or a bit of a belief that they're good at what they do. And so if you can approach them, ask for their help, people are willing 9 times out of 10 to help someone. So we traditionally always go and sort of asking if they could help you or point you in a better direction of who to speak to about X, Y, Z. In that case, it was about coffins. With the farmer one, the key thing was just talk to them as if you're talking to your mate at the pub. Lots of mates, how you doing? Lots of just general informal chat because they are the people that you would bump into at the pub. And so that is the best way of doing it because you just want to be as chatty and as maybe as informal, I guess, as you need to be because, again, people buy from people and the best way in sales is to mirror the person. If they are really chatty and really informal, be the same. They're not going to want to sit another meeting with your client or they're not going to want to buy your product if they don't like you. And be honest and open with them about what you're doing as well. Never try, and to be fair, this is the same with everything we do, but never try and hide away or shy away from what you're doing. You are, at the end of the day, calling them to sell them something in some form. So never try and shy away from that. Always be upfront and honest about what you're doing.
The key thing there really is mirroring, trying to relate and adapt to the types of people that you'd be selling to. The coffin one still amazes me. Just getting yourself up for selling that. I think I'd actually be really up for the challenge, in fairness. It definitely sounds a bit interesting.
It was really successful because, like I said, their key issue is space. And so, this is a product they've probably not heard of because, again, I hadn't heard of it. I don't think you have, Kyle. And so it's got that factor of it being unique and it's got that factor of it being something new. So, we were offering for the client to go down and show them and do them a demo and, talk through the product. So even on that front, it's something that people just wanted to look at. and then their Keir Shave was space, and it helped save that issue. So yeah, really, really, it was a really successful one, but it is definitely a unique product.
I think there's a good learn from that though, because we naturally doing our job speak to people all of the time that are looking for new positions, are looking for their first position, and a lot of the time people get maybe the wool pull over their eyes with really flash product, but actually, if I was going for a sales position, I'd be looking what problem and how big of a problem does this solve, and it might not be the most flash product, software, whatever it may be in the world, but like you said there, as long as there's a genuine problem that it solves, you will probably perform better. And so I actually think there's a good message from that, but
Yeah,
it's still a bit unique.
people want to get into tech sales, or they want to get into something that might seem, sexy, but I think everyone should at one point in their life work in a call center. Now, I know that might seem to some people as this awful thing, working in a call center, but it's really not. And you learn so much. It's something, you just bring up your resilience, you bring up your own motivation. And again, even if you don't want to be a salesperson, you should want to be a salesperson, but even if you don't, then all that resilience, all that self-belief, that motivation, that work ethic will help you no matter what you do. So I think everyone at some point, and especially early on in their career, should work in a call center, because you learn so much.